Hey everybody, welcome back to What the Helvetica. We have Will Paterson of YouTube infamy with us today.
Join Mike, Janda, and guests to discuss the things that make creative people say, what the hell, Vetica?
Will, super great to have you on the show.
Cheers, Mike.
Let's start by, you're going back in time to when you first started your career, and old Will now is giving advice to little Willie back then. What do you say to that person?
Take breaks regularly, or that you'll be forced to take them anyway. So if you carry on working, that's it. You'll either have a holiday of your own, or you'll be forced to have one.
Have you had that meltdown, forced breakdown moment? Well, actually, let me go back. How many of those have you had in your career? That's a better question.
I get probably twice a year.
Really?
So they're not too bad, but they can be pretty. They can be pretty bad when there's just so much happening. Because in our world, right, it's very difficult to say no to good opportunities.
Yeah.
So saying no is kind of like sacrilegious. So you've got to play this battle in your head of like, I need to take some time to actually do the work that I want to do, but I've been given this amazing opportunity that's going to absolutely wipe my schedule, right? Basically that's happened a few times, and it happens every year. Every time we think it's going to be quieter, something pops up. So it's good.
So you say yes. What does the meltdown look like for you? Like, what happens in your physical, in your psychological?
So I think it's pretty generic. I suffer with imposter syndrome, like every other creator, I think.
The 961,000 YouTube followers doesn't help with that for some weird reason, right?
It makes it worse. It makes it worse.
Oh, good.
It makes you think you've tricked people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and you're like, I think I've tricked them into liking me, because everything on YouTube and online is just a persona. Nothing is truly yourself. And everyone has it on different degrees, but if you've been doing YouTube for 10 years and you've seen how it's grown and how different things work, people expect when they meet you in person for you to be this certain guy, but I am not. I am the complete opposite in a lot of ways, because of the way that I present myself. But the other ways that it sort of manifests is I'll hyper focus on something else. So for instance, I'll just like be late on certain things that I need to do. YouTube videos, I don't really have any ideas, but it's mostly a dread. You get a dread to do the work, right? Because even though you love doing this, it's kind of like, I've got like 5 projects to do and 6 videos this month. How are we going to do this? So you kind of start dreading it until it balances itself back. And I'm a big believer, right, that there's no balance in business or in life. I think in life, if you look at it holistically, sometimes life will be more busy, sometimes business will be more busy, and you're always on this sort of seesaw of like work-life balance. And as long as it's not like fully down the whole time in one area, then I think it will kind of pendulate like that.
Yeah. My perspective on that regarding business is that a business is always trying to kill itself, and it's either trying to kill itself by starving to death, or it's trying to kill itself by gorging itself and overeating until it explodes. But it's very rare that it's very rare that your business is like eating the right amount. It's either doing one or the other, it seems. So you have these occasional moments where you're like, oh, this is going good. I'm like, got a day's worth of work, and I go back home and everything's not too stressful. But those snippets of time are so small compared to the times where you're starving or gorging yourself.
Of course, yeah. And I think they seem longer than they are actually sometimes.
Okay.
So we had this strange thing, right? We just moved house, and we've never had this before, where all the client projects we've been working on finish at the same time. So we're finishing them all. Normally we have like a really good overlap, like where we can forecast it, but certain projects took longer and certain projects took a shorter amount of time. So we got to a point of, what's the next project? We've never been there before. Well, not for like a good like a decade now. And that's where it felt like, oh no, everything's going to get slowed down. So I'm going to work on the website. You know, you do, when you start working for other people, you kind of work on the things that you need to, like portfolios and maybe setting up the office differently. And I thought I'd have 2 weeks of that, but it was only 2 days. So, because we said yes to the next thing, right? And then before you know it, you've got 3 more. So I really like the way that you said it, though. It's either overeating, over consuming, or over taking, like getting what it needs, or it's not eating enough, you know? So I really like that.
Yeah. Well, I feel it all the time. I have another one too, where your business is like in the back of an ambulance, and your job is to try and just keep it alive. And you're just sitting there pumping compressions all the time, trying to keep this business from killing
like
itself
that.
or from dying. It does feel like that. And you know, lemmings, you know, the lemmings that like once a year, they all jump off a cliff. That's how it feels too. It's like your business is like running, and they're all just trying to jump off the cliff, and you're trying to herd these lemmings to keep them alive, but they're determined to kill themselves and jump off a cliff. This is so negative in the perspective of a business, but I felt it for so long while I was just building my agency and growing. And anybody who's been an entrepreneur can relate to how that feels. I don't know why it's that way. Why do you keep doing it? If it's, well, like, what's the motivation? Because there are easier ways to live than being a creative entrepreneur. So what is the energy behind it for you?
I was going to say it hurts so good. In some ways, it's like in doing... For me, I'm not good at any other... Well, hang on. Let me think about this. I just enjoy it. I'm so interested in things, right? I'm so obsessed as to why things work. And that sounds more of like an engineering, you know, answer. But I feel like when I'm working, I can obsess over things that not many other people can. And because we're typographers here at heart, that's mainly what we do for our clients. It's kind of... we get to obsess over language and the way things work. And I've just got this passion for typography. Obviously, I'm dyslexic as well, so it makes it slightly ironic.
Oh, you are? Wow.
Yeah, it makes it a bit of a fun aspect of it. But I don't really know. The reason why we like to do what we do is, number one, because it's a business that we enjoy coming to most of the time. Like most of the time, business is good because for us, we can work on YouTube videos that are very fun. Like recently, I've been trying to get a 3D printer so we can do some videos surrounding that and design, make a letterpress sort of thing with it. We love to just create, and any way that we can kind of monetize that is an amazing thing, because the way that I kind of work, I don't know if I'm making any sense right now, but I can't just have one project. So I have to have multiple ones, and I like to sort of dib and dab into different ones throughout, let's say, the day or the week, just as a palate cleanser. It allows you to see things so differently. So regardless of whether I had client projects and it would be too busy, I'm pretty sure I'll just make myself busy anyway with other things just to get that, you know, palate cleanser between the different projects. Endorphins,
dopamine. Yeah, that's what it is.
It's when you hit the idea. When you hit the idea, that's where the dopamine comes, right?
Yeah, it's so good. Okay, so when you say we, I know Naomi works with you, and seems from my email correspondence and stuff, seems like she's in the weeds and working and churning. Who else is the we? And let me expand this question. You're branded as Will Paterson and not an agency name. So a lot of clients want Will, and Will is finite. And so how much does Will bring in other help versus upcharge because it's you working on it and you have authority and reputation, so you can charge what you want for clients within reason. But how much are you balancing that? And do you ever regret, this is like a big question, and do you ever regret being branded as Will Paterson for your client services versus being an agency name for your client services?
It's a really
a lot
good
of
question.
questions in there. Yeah.
No, the overarching one is like, what the hell's going on with the whole name thing? But
I guess that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. The reason why is because when I started out, I wanted to be called just my name because I was a freelancer. And we got so busy essentially, where I was doing all the videos, lettering, trying to create, and obviously doing client work, which was mainly just logo design. It wasn't really brand identity stuff. But we got so busy, I had to bring people in to help. So we hired in a video editor, and they helped with the editing. But then we hired in like another designer / video editor, marketing dude, and essentially overnight we were like, oh, we can actually do things now for other people with these guys. These guys aren't just here to help me, they're here to help the clients too. So Naomi is essentially like the boss of everything. She tells me what I'm doing. She kind of organizes all the projects, and I kind of see where we're going and tell her where we'd like to go. Hence why she's always like corresponding, because I'm terrible with emails and messaging. I'm not a writing person. I'm like a phone call guy.
She seems really sharp. So you married your yang. You married your yang in the yin yang world pretty well.
Yeah, of course. So that's even a strange one. So we started dating when we were 12, and we got married at 21. So we've been married for 10 years.
You did when you were 12.
Yeah, I was 12.
Wow.
No, I was 13 and she was 12.
So you were like, cradle robbing back in the day.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
Yeah. And basically, we've just been best friends. And then she joined the team basically as the first person.
Okay, wait, we got to go back to this for a second. So did you date other people, or have you been together since you were like 12 and 13?
Been together since we were 12, yeah.
For real?
For real, yeah.
This is like the one love you've had ever.
Yes,
That's
it was
crazy. Good.
So
for
we
you.
live in a very small town, in Richmond, North Yorkshire, which is near Newcastle, if anyone knows that. It's about an hour away. About 20,000 people, historic monuments. So there's not many people. Well, there is.
Well, that's
for
not,
England,
not that Naomi was like all you had to choose from. Let's be honest.
of course not.
She's great. She's great.
But the people you hang out with, everyone knew each other basically. So you'd always hang out with people in different age groups, and it's different from what I've heard other places where you wouldn't hang out, with the fifth graders or whatever. So we obviously she's I made it sound really bad.
He's going back in time to the start of his dating of the fifth graders back in.
Don't let Naomi have the link. Anyway, so we've been dating since we were 12, best friends. Obviously we're at church together as well, which is a massive part of all of us being together. So and then we decided to do business together, and it's been great.
Wow.
It's hard, but it's good.
Yeah. I get jealous of people that have the husband, wife, or the partner, spouse, partner relationship thing in business, because it's like you need one income, but you have two people working. And I'm always so jealous of that. I'm like, man, I had one person working and I needed one income for my family. But some of these people, like when things get tight, you still have someone there that one or either of you can drop their income for a little bit and make it, and still have somebody in the workforce. Anyway,
that is kind of the risk, isn't it? Of it. But we found that for us, because a lot of people that I've spoken to have said, that would be so nice, but I don't know if it would work for us because we might fight and stuff, which is normal. And we argue quite a lot about everything, but that's why we've done well, because we care just as much. Not saying people you employ don't care as much as you. But there is that element, when you employ someone that's not their company. And obviously they're all of our employees, we try and make them make their own companies. We call it bounce padding as a more of an impact thing. So when I have a bad day, Naomi's had a bad day. When Naomi's had a bad day, I've had a bad day. So it's actually worked really well when you come home. And the only problem is it's very difficult to stop working. We have to tell each other, oh, we're not talking about work right now.
Yeah,
so
that's a challenge.
Yeah.
Okay,
about the agency,
super interesting.
I was just going to say about the name. Just I don't think I said it.
That's what I was going to go back to.
Yeah. So I never changed my name to like an agency because what we decided to do was change our website a few years ago, where we had this name or this tagline of branding connoisseurs, and we kind of knew that if we put something like that on the website, we would attract a certain client. So people in the finance industries or people in technological who really wanted strong branding from someone, right, who they could see. And that was the strategy. And it turned out to work. We started working with financial institutions and some really, really cool clients that we still work with now. And essentially, in me changing my name, I would have had to have like put a brand on top of that.
Yeah.
But what the clients really like is our very small boutique run of what we do. Like we take a long time. We're not quick turnaround. And that shoots ourselves in the foot a little bit because we try not to grow. And the way that we like to keep it is with the designers that we have and the editors and everyone else, we want to run it as small as possible to keep it as in line as possible with each other. And that's why we haven't changed the name, because on every project I'm on it anyway. If we're not on a project, I don't want to be creatively directing someone to do a whole project, even though that's probably the smart move. It doesn't appeal to me. Yeah.
I think it's good though what you're doing. It is one of the paths that I recommend for people when they're naming their creative business. I'm like, okay, you can go the Aaron Draplin route and name it Draplin, and then build reputation and charge a premium because Draplin logo means something in the world. He has his books, he has his whole persona, and we can all admit, from a branding standpoint, he's the best there is in branding himself as a logo designer. James Martin, I would put as a very close, if not equal, second there, but Draplin has it. James is also doing it so well, and because of their persona, they can charge a premium, but it comes with the client saying, oh, I want a Draplin logo. That means Draplin's going to be moving the curves for me and actually sketching this thing, right? Because that's what I'm buying. And if that's the case, you can make a ton of money because now your logo project has so much demand because of your reputation. You're saying this is a $50,000 logo, not a $500 logo, because I have demand. The flip side is the agency model, and you call it not Draplin Design Company, but you call it Rocket Ship Logos, and you build that, and you have other designers working on the logos, and it doesn't matter. And so now we're going to greenlight a lot of logos, but I have 5 designers on staff that are all working on it, and it doesn't mean that Draplin has to be the designer on each one. Now, both of those models can make a ton of money. It just depends which one you choose. And I think you've done right in your reputation size and your audience size and how known you are in the creative space to stay Will Paterson Design.
I think so, yeah. Just as well as that, it's I mean, we often work with other agencies as well, like in tandem. So although it still has the feeling of a freelance typographer or logo type designer, but it's with a team of people that make sure everything runs smoothly. With other designers doing what they need to do, we work together. So it's a lot of people might think it's laziness by not doing, like, changing it or whatever. But I think it hits a certain person or a certain company who really jives with what we do, or who really says, "Oh, it's a Will Paterson thing," you know. So you're right. I've not heard it said. I've not heard anyone explain it the way you did there. That's really nice. Yeah.
I've gone through this mental exercise. Well, I had my own change. Like I started my agency and I was Janda Design Company, and then I shortened it to Janda Co. And then I had 10 or 12 employees, and every client who came through the door was like, "Hey, I need to talk with Mike Janda. Mike Janda, where's Mike Janda?" And I'm like, "Wait, my business costs a freaking $1 million a year to break even because I got all these team. I don't want to be in all those meetings anymore." So I had to change my agency name to Riser just to get my name off of the masthead so that I could have some semblance of a life. So that was my motivation.
Yeah, that might be where we should, because that literally happens to us. That people want to like speak to me, and Naomi's like trying to hold them at the door, not physically, but and on the emails and stuff. But no, that's something that we need to think about. But for now, we were only just talking about this. I think it's a really good thing for people to do, because number one, I think it's easier in a lot of ways. Unless you wanted to start your own studio out of it, there's nothing stopping us from creating another one and making that like a full marketing studio if we needed to. But it's where you want to spend the time, and I think right now we want to help people online, teach what we do, and create some like kick-ass fonts and logos and identities.
I think you're well positioned, because the shift is happening where the future of design, your personal name needs to mean something, because people won't buy the agency version as much because they don't know if an AI something is creating it or whatever behind the scenes. If you're buying a Will Paterson design, then the assumption is, and would be correct, I'm buying human generated, created by Will design work that is artistic. I'm buying a piece of art from the artist Will. And that's one of the only ways that designers survive this AI overtaking production work world that we're in and heading toward.
I completely agree. And, I've talked about this a lot, AI, and people keep asking, am I afraid of the replacement? And I've kept saying, because of the way that we are, you can't really replace who we are and what we're here for. We may get less logo clients in the future. That's absolutely fine. But if they want my logo, if they want me to design it, and there are people who only want me to design their logos, and it's not going to go anywhere. So that's a really interesting way of putting it the way you did. Yeah, AI is a strange one.
I think you're in the best situation possible. I think the people who should be fearful is Little Willie from 10 years ago, trying to get into the industry and start to build reputation, and they have none. You're in such a great spot because you already have reputation. I mentioned Aaron Draplin and James Martin, same kind of thing. There's reputation behind that. And there will always be people who want to buy the Will Paterson logo because that means something. But Little Willie from 10, 12 years ago, those are the people that I'm nervous for in the world that we're entering into.
Me too. One thing that I think would help them, though, is even 10 or 12 years ago, YouTube content, design YouTube content wasn't really there. It was, I think at the time, it was like Howard Pinsky, we had The Future starting at the same time as me. And that was really it. And it was kind of a new media. And us going on to that really helped, obviously, because we were helping people. But the premise or the principle of that is where people zig, you zag, you go different. So if someone's doing this online, if you want to instantly stand out, as long as you're not being weird, unless that's part of your thing, then you just zag and you'll instantly stand out. And I've noticed that a lot. So for Instagram, it was only the past 3 months I've started looking at it, because we're seeing everyone on Instagram doing stuff. And we've got all our time, into long form content. Yet now we're just like, oh, if these guys are all doing this, and you can kind of spot the meta, the pattern, we're going to do this because we know that if we play the long game on doing that, something that creating timeless content where people can, reach onto your profile and look through it in 2 years' time and it's still relevant. It's not just about like an update or something. If you create that, then people will stick around and they'll remember you, right? So that would be my advice for anyone. And it's what I've been saying, which is don't mimic completely. Try and change something meaningful of yourself to get noticed if that's what you need.
Yeah. That's great advice. I would say even before that, make a goal to get noticed and go and try and do it somewhere, because you have to lean into, I am a human and you should hire me, the human, because I am artistic and creative, and an AI cannot give you the empathetic artwork that I can. Therefore, you should hire me. Now, the people who hide their face and don't get on video and don't work toward trying to build some kind of human-to-human connection, those are the ones that I'm most fearful for, because it's the only reason that somebody is going to hire you. You go fast forward 10 years from now, and the AI tools will be producing logos that are better than 99% of the human designers in the world. Now, you won't be able to copyright them and all those things, but the work itself will be pixel perfect, thoughtful, meaningful, creative. It'll check those boxes. It's not hard to envision that. So why would anybody ever hire Will? It's because Will, man, I love that guy. I love the way he thinks. I love the way he talks. I feel a connection to him. I want to hire him to do the work and to bring it in a creative and ownable way that nobody else has, because it's came from him, the human. And I think that design will go become more a piece of art than the human created design will be more a reflection of art than what we've been able to get away with for the last 20 years. And in design being design and a method of communication in the future, I think it's got to be more artistic. Anyway.
I was just going to say, the way that I've phrased this to people is don't try and be the best, try and be their favorite.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, if you become someone's favorite, they're going to go with you. Most influential designers are much better than me in most things. I'm really good at fonts and designing logos in certain ways, but I never claim to be best. It's just people want it from the personality that I put into it. Be their favorite. It doesn't have to just be around, creating the best, most pixelated logo. It goes similarly to, we try and tell our audience this all the time, which is you can have the most amazing logo you've designed, but if you present it badly, then you should never, it's not going to get, seen by the people who want the logos. They're not going to buy it, basically. And I feel like that's the same for yourself. It's an unfortunate thing, I think, but we are products. When you're a brand, you are selling yourself day in and day out. Every tweet, every Instagram post. If you're a freelance designer and you're complaining about not getting work, well, you need to get noticed, as you say, and you can try different things to do that. Don't shame. There's a lot of people shaming companies for using AI and whatnot. However, I think it's just about providing why you would be better than AI. And recently, we've done this. We've been working for a couple of quite large AI platforms, and it's people are wondering why is it AI platforms asking you to do it when they could get AI to do it themselves? And it just goes back to that point of, if someone trusts what you say, with your stamp of approval, if you've earned their trust to give them a stamp, then they'll go for you. Yeah.
Okay, you dropped a couple of super key words in that. One is trust. I think that the trust is so critical. That is why they will buy. I will hire Will because I trust Will. I love Will. Okay, love or a kinship, that favoritism relationship is one of the pieces. I trust Will. He's going to be honest with me. He's going to speak his mind with me. He's going to give me something that is not plagiarized from somewhere that he found in some other logo book. I trust him. That's another big component as to why they're going to hire you. You were mentioning a tweet or a video, and you mentioned short form video on Instagram, long form content that you're creating and have been for years. The designers have to figure out a platform that they are going to go all in on and try to manifest their humanity, or they're in trouble. And it does not mean you have to go and make a YouTube channel like Will, because that takes a certain personality and takes a certain level of, I'm going to go through the ugly times to get to the good times in the end. And that's not for everybody, but it should be something. And things like Dribble, Behance, where you can show your work and then you build reputation around your work. And then you have pictures of yourself or an occasional little snippet to remind people who's behind the work. Something like that can be effective. But you have to do something. Twitter, you mentioned, I don't want to ever call it X. It's freaking Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter
is one of the best brands ever created in the tech space ever. It's Twitter and tweets for me forever.
Yes,
that's what I'm going to call it. I'm mad about the stupid X.
I'm glad.
Rebrand.
Did you notice the X was like, there was a bit of a optical illusion that was happening? I think it's called the Poggendorf effect. Where in the serif X, if you put the two lines together like this, right, the small one, if you just put it straight up so it's parallel, it'll look off. So they had to fix it. And I think they have now, but there was a bit of an optical illusion. But that's just me being obsessed. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
We're obsessed with
that obsession.
Small things. Yeah. But
so
as to what you were saying there with people who are wanting to get noticed, I think the easiest way... Actually, let me backtrack. The big... for me, when people ask me, look at my portfolio, why am I not getting any work? The work is beautiful. You look at it and you're like, it's really good. But how did you get there? Yeah. Well, you haven't shown any of your process. You've shown like 10,000 mock-ups and it looks beautiful. And the clients are like, yeah, that's great. But how did they make it? We're like magicians. Clients look at designers like magic. They want to know how you got there. So the way that we do it in our portfolio is we show all the bad sketches. We show everything that goes wrong. And in YouTube, that's a really good way of doing it. We live in a world now on Instagram where people touch their screen and a logo appears, like finish, right? But people actually really want to see the story of how something came to be, because that's where the magic is revealed. But then also there's a sense of mystery, isn't there? One thing that no one talks about in branding that I've seen personally is mystery. You don't have to talk. And for us, we're quite, we're not the most mysterious, but we try and not say a lot. When we say something, we try and make it meaningful in a way, especially with our client work. We've not shown any new pieces of client work really for 2 years until our new website comes out, and we'll be showing like 10 different...
I saw that. You have one coming.
It's unreal. I'll share it with you after because it's in production.
I saw the framer version on your video. I was scribbling through that. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, thank you. It's fun. It's a great platform, by the way. But the work that we're doing is pretty crazy. But the mysteriousness about it, of like, people want to know what you're always working on, and we're always like never giving the full amount of details to people. And I think a lot of people think that's a bad thing, but for us, it's actually worked out well, because when someone finds it as your process slightly mysterious of how you do it, it adds that sort of value to it in a weird way. And that was completely accidentally found, because I'm just terrible at social media. Even though I do it, I'm like the worst person. I'm like the worst YouTuber. I'm like the worst Instagram person. I don't do it very well.
You're not, man. You're freaking born for it. But keep
going.
You're being... This is imposter syndrome talking. You're so good. You do so good at it.
I don't know.
You do, man. It's so good.
Thank you.
I
seriously think that I post on a whim sometimes. Like on Instagram, I'm like, I'll do a reel today, and I should have a strategy and all this.
No, man, Instagram sucks though. If you can do YouTube, like, this is the thing. I'm miffed because my audience is on Instagram, and I blossomed out of the carousel boom back in the day, and I've never been committed to any of the pivots long enough to make it anything happen for me. So it's just kind of been stalled out since the carousel dip. But I've always said this, if you can get the YouTube audience, I can almost guarantee that there is nobody on Instagram with a big Instagram audience that would not trade their entire Instagram audience for a YouTube audience. Because YouTube, you get attention that's real, not I will give you 1 second to hook me, and if you can keep me for 3 seconds longer, then maybe I will give you 15 seconds of my time. That's Instagram. YouTube, if they click, you know you're going to at least get them for, I mean, where's the drop-off? The drop-off starts at maybe the 20-second, 30-second span, but if you get them past that, you've got them to at least like 50, 60% of the watch length of a video. And a lot of people come back and finish it later and stuff. I don't know, man.
That's a good point. As well as that, the algorithm, you have a choice on YouTube, right? Unless you're watching shorts. So you see all these thumbnails on the homepage, right? So you have a choice. The people who are watching it are generally not people who will like affect your algorithmic choice.
Yeah. They're not scrubbing like Instagram. Yeah.
So we did this thing where shorts first became a thing. And I said, oh, shorts are easy. I'll do this video about the pen tool. So I was like, you're using the pen tool all wrong. Because I had this thing in mind of how shorts work and how Instagram works in Reels.
Yeah.
Say you're doing something that every person does in a certain niche. Everyone uses the pen tool. You just say you're doing it wrong. And it was, in my opinion, like wrong. And how most people use it. But that's just because I'm, in the context of the video, I'm trying to get people's attention. And then I showed them the actual way, and I explained how Bezier works, and in typography mainly. And in doing that, it paid off because people are like, I've never seen this before. But on YouTube, I've done the same video, and it gets hardly any views, which is a very strange one, right? Because it shows you the difference between algorithmic, what cognitive biases we can take advantage of to keep people watching. And for me, that it's kind of like what's going on there. Whereas on YouTube, the videos hardly ever start with "this is a pen" or you're doing this wrong, or something that grabs your mind quickly. It's more about this curiosity gap of I want to learn. And also, if anyone wants to get into YouTube, just make sure you don't do something trendy as most of your videos. Try and, as I said before, if your video won't last 3 years and it won't be relevant, don't make it. There's no point because even though we've got nearly 900,000 subscribers or something, we get on average 20 to 100,000 views, 20,000 to 100,000. And people be like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. He's got 900,000 and stuff. But what it is actually a very good conversion because people are watching for a long time. And with shorts and stuff, people, we've done well on shorts. We've done some good ones. But there's nearly no payoff. We've not seen any payoff from shorts really. But YouTube videos, I can guarantee if you do one where you explain your process, even what you think is boring, people find it interesting. If you're working on something, show it, produce it, get it out there, and over time, as long as it's timeless, people will just follow and people will enjoy it. Sorry, I went on a massive spiel there, but yeah. No,
dude, I'm the master of massive spiels, so it works for me. One of my thoughts on this too, I love what you said about YouTube content. So, and not doing the trend. I think so much of it, and I haven't cracked the code to YouTube. I have 40,000 something followers on YouTube. And what I found is it doesn't make any difference on my view count. I launch a video and you have all these thousands of followers and the video, sometimes it's going to do okay. And sometimes it's just going to be piddle, nothing. And then sometimes it'll be a year later, it starts to get some traction. It does not matter because the conversion that I get from longer form video content is way higher than what I get out of any of the short form platforms. I have more people that have joined my coaching programs or joined my community or hired me for one-on-one coaching and things. And they're like, oh yeah, I love your podcast with Brad Hussey, that 2 Pixels Off is so great. And just wanted to reach out. It was that long form version, conversations like this that people listen to. And then it builds like 50 Instagram reels worth of touch points all happen in 20 minutes of a video like this. And so you're building trust over positive touch points with someone. This longer form content does that.
It does. And one thing that I've like tried to do with like even our team, I say, okay, think of the last meaningful Instagram reel you saw.
Yeah.
Now think about the last meaningful YouTube video you saw. You'll probably find it quicker to find the meaningful YouTube video, right? Because
I love that.
There's what YouTube isn't anymore is a social media. It used to be that people would watch you because they wanted a break or they wanted to learn. They wanted a break from living their lives and they'd like to watch someone live their own, live another one. It used to be, well, it still is. It's an educational platform where people go and search for things. So if you can do searchable things, but actually what it really is now to get those high views is it's interest media. It's got nothing to do with like pure value at the state of it anymore. It used to be, create value and people will join, but that's not the case. Yeah. What it is if you can like mash together, like for a good example of this would be my recent Google logo video where Google changed their logo slightly where the G became like a gradient.
The gradients.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. I explained on that video as to why they might do it. Is it a bad idea? Is it whatever? The video really had nothing, valuable other than a few insights of my own in it. What it did though is it got loads of views, like 100,000 very fast. And that's only because it's interesting because it's happening at the moment. So it's turned into more of this broadcast thing. So if you can mash 2 things together, it will be something current and something that you can commentate towards. So if it's like a new look, similar to Alan Peters recently, he was on, was it CNN? We don't have that over here, or CNBC, I don't know. He was on the news. And he was talking about a logo that has literally just changed. They've rebranded or whatever. And people are interested in that. If he made a video about that, it would do really well because people are currently searching for it. And that's how you can, if anyone's trying to get on YouTube, there's no real code to crack other than, is this interesting? Will it survive 2 years? Most of the time, if it's interesting now, it won't. So you have to like sandwich everything together. YouTube is complicated, dude. But for me anyway. But yeah, hopefully that helps.
You've done so good at it. How much of your growth on YouTube, you were an early adopter. So I go on your YouTube, I looked at your oldest videos, found the very first video that you ever showed up on camera on. I think you were begging for money on Patreon back in the day.
Yes, probably.
There
was nothing happening.
And I read some of the comments and people were like, what do you mean Patreon? Because Patreon wasn't even a thing. So you were so early in adopting that. And then I kind of connected the years a little bit from your website to your YouTube. And that was super early in your career as well. So my perspective is, here's Will, brand new designer, self-taught or self-teaching, and YouTube, brand new emerging platform that's gaining tons of traction at the time, and something like Patreon. You were in this, my entire life is experimental mode. This is my perspective, and correct me if I'm wrong. How much of your success on YouTube do you think has come from you doing that when other people weren't, versus, I mean, you're good at it. There's no question. I mean, your videos are so, the editing, the cuts, the flow, all of it is so great. But it wasn't back then. Like, everybody starts at the bad. You all start at the bad version. Anyway, why did you adopt so early? How did you have the guts to do it when you really weren't even a professional designer and you weren't school taught? I have my design degree. You just like started showing up.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Like, tell me about that.
Okay. Well, I was trying to learn design, and I don't know if you know, but I basically failed school. Like I got.
I didn't know that part, but I love
Yeah.
all those kinds of stories. Gary Vee talks about it all the time. I mean, he's like, I sucked at school, F-bomb, F-bomb. And then he's like, you don't need school, F-bomb, B.
Yeah.
And then he gives his thing. But yeah,
Literally,
I always love
it's
when he
like
talks about that because it doesn't work for everybody. Okay, but
It
keep
doesn't.
going.
And for me, I was dyslexic, so I had a learning difficulty when it came to reading. Although I can read now, I just read slightly different. So I said to my mum and dad, I was like, right, I want my own business. So I went to this vocational college. It's not like a university. It's like a technology college where you would learn like a skill. And I thought business administration was like business studies, and it certainly wasn't. I went there and I was surrounded by 20 other women who were doing the same thing. And it turned out I was learning how to become a secretary, although I did learn lots of valuable things, and I had a great time. It was like a 3-year course, so I did 2 years and decided after the second one, right, I'm just going to go and do design work now. I asked my parents, they weren't happy, but they said you could stay because you're not going to university. You have like 9 months to start making money, basically. And I thought, right, I'm going to do that. Use my laptop. I'm going to try and read books and I would back engineer everything I saw. So any logos or whatever, I'd back engineer. And I know it was on YouTube because I was quite avid on there. I really enjoyed being on and watching videos. I noticed there's hardly anything on there. So there was this one video I did called how to export vector into Cinema 4D. No one was teaching how to do that. So I went and worked out how to do it. And I thought, you know what, I'll post it on YouTube as something to do just to explain what I've learned. So I would learn something and teach it at the same time. So endless content there. So I would do that for years because I realized no one was doing it and it was helping people. You'd get nice comments. I'd get maybe a few hundred views, maybe a few thousand. Then it started to jump. And then before you know it, people are wanting to know my opinions. So there's that. But yes, the first question was how much of the success is based on me doing it because it was an untapped thing. And yeah, of course, it gives you a boost because there's no one else, right? However, we had like The Future, and then we had Satori Graphics, who's another legend on YouTube. We had loads of other people pop along and start doing this. And from there, we had this sort of community. The biggest thing on YouTube is just pure grit. There's only been a couple of times where we've spiked. Like, if you look at our channel graph of our growth, you'll see like the graph going up and then like it kind of plateaus and goes up and then maybe down a bit and then up, depending, because it's been like a decade, right? If I stop doing it today, next year, it might still be doing okay, but that's it. YouTube is very much a consistent game. And the game is to be meaningful, not to just grab attention. The game is to kind of, in the way that we do it, we always want to be kind. We never want to spark something with people. And I think if you have the timeless content, then it works. Because here's another thing. Most of our views, like every month, the biggest chunk, come from the past 10 years. It sandwiches together, yeah? And that was intentional. We did this years and years ago. We said every piece of content needs to be filmed in 4K, even before people were filming in 4K, right?
Wow.
Because that's where we're going, into 4K. So we even have like videos from about 10 years ago of like that look like they're from last week. So
Really? Wow, that's amazing.
I sound different and I probably look a lot better and younger. But yeah.
Oh,
So hopefully
awesome.
that answers.
Yeah. No, it's so good. I mean, my applause for you on this was you were in a state where you didn't even know, you weren't an expert. You were becoming an expert and sharing your journey of becoming an expert at a time where the platform didn't have a model for you to follow. There were not the channels of, how to grow and how to master YouTube. And so you had the early adopter people that were trying to give you this slimy tactic stuff, but the real way to do it. And I think I would applaud you on that too, that you have been you. that's what I've seen in seeing your videos for years. I've known about you and seen your videos, and it always just feels authentic. It doesn't feel like there's a performance. You're not pretending to be something you're not. It just feels authentic. And I think that that's such a critical piece for anybody starting to share, is just to show up, talk about the things that you're interested in, converting some vector into Cinema 4D. If you're interested in that, trust that there is somebody else in the world that's interested in that, and post it and find that person, or let that person find you over time. Yes. But just lean into you and your humanity. To go back to what the real battle is with AI, and one of your potential salvations is that.
Yeah. And I think, AI is a big thing. So we made a video a few years ago about just, I think it's with DALL-E, that open.
Yeah.
They created that. And I made a video titled, "Will We Ever Be This Creative?" And boy, did that annoy people. Right.
Oh, yeah.
So it did the job.
The haters came, right? Yeah.
Oh, they did. Yeah. They did. The videos were made about me. About it, because I was saying, what's it going to look like in the next few years, and luckily I was like pretty bang on of how I thought it was going to go, which is people like Adobe and stuff will use this to make masking easier. I didn't realize that generative would become such a huge thing, but for designers it will just make our lives 10 times easier in a lot of ways, for like selection and stuff. And even then, people, YouTube has a nasty side to it, right? And people don't realize this. I'm sure
there's an ugly side,
to everything, to everything there is. And if you're on there, you've got to have a kind of a thick skin. But even though I say that, like I really don't, because it takes like 1,000, well dones to override just one negative comment, true. Right? Because of the way that our brains work, these platforms we're just products of it. That's just the way that we've been psychologically we are. And I think it's really important to know that when you're going into YouTube, that it's a commitment. And even with AI and with AI content, I'm pretty sure YouTube is going to do something about that. But people are still going to want the validity of humans, the mistakes of humans, and the as I would say, Bob Ross would say, happy accidents that YouTube brings. So for anyone who's starting, the biggest thing is just to start now. You can always delete a video later. You can always change a thumbnail. You can always change a title, but you can't change whether you do it now. And the difference between me and a lot of other people back then was I started doing YouTube then, and we don't know where it's going to go. Now I don't personally know where YouTube's going to go in the next 10 years. It's probably going to look wildly different to where it currently stands now. But what I know is that if you know something, or if you work as a designer or a creative professional in any way, you probably have something called the curse of knowledge, where you think that what you know, they also know. But you'll be hella surprised to realize that most of what you know, people don't know it the way that you know it, or the way that you can explain it. And again, this is where dyslexia for myself comes in, because I speak weirdly sometimes, and I explain things very differently to a lot of other people. And I think it breaks it down a little bit. And for some people, they really like the way I explain, how to use things. So everyone's got something to give. It's all about whether you have the grit to do it. And if you're going to force yourself nearly to create something,
put it out there. You do need grit. My first book, Burn Your Portfolio, came out in 2013. Yeah. I have not read the comments on Amazon. It's overwhelmingly positive. It's like a 4.6 or something, hundreds of comments. I do not read them because I can't handle the one hater that shows up for every 10 or 20. This book changed my life. It's so good. And then you have the one who just comes in and rips on it. I can't emotionally handle it, so I don't read it. I made the mistake on YouTube. It wasn't a mistake, because I still stand by this. But when the Jaguar rebrand came out and everybody was bashing on it, and there were people in my comments on Instagram when I mentioned it or something that were like, why would they ever do this? And I thought, okay, I'm going to answer that question. And so I went and looked at like Jaguar's declining sales data. I looked at the history of their car designs and all this stuff. And I said, okay, here's the answer. For those of you that are saying, why would Jaguar do this? Here's the answer. And I showed all of it. I'm like, here's declining sales. They needed to pivot. Yeah. They needed to find a new market. Here's their old cars. And you can see the curves on their new cars matching the curves on their old cars, blah, blah, blah. And then I showed things like some of these mega brands that were the, I don't remember the one that I used, but like Louis Vuitton and stuff, and the style of the models and all, you know, makeuped out and everything. And it was so much like what their commercial is that everybody bashed. I'm like, this is where it all came from. This is where the idea came from. But people misinterpreted that video as me saying they made the perfect decision. Even though I said, don't bash on me. All I'm doing is trying to explain where it came from. But man, the haters can't see through that. They just were like, they were coming. Oh,
yeah, they come.
awful.
So the biggest thing, like I worry now when I make a video, literally we've got an amazing producer editor called Cameron. And his job is basically to make sure that whatever I say cannot be misconstrued. Because I'll say something like normal, but in the context of jump cuts, you know, where you cut one bit to the other, it might sound more definite. And obviously, because I'm British, a lot of people might think I'm sounding arrogant. So
funny.
which is true, because like the way that we speak in England might sound arrogant compared to, I don't know, America, Europe.
I don't know. We sound pretty arrogant in America, I think.
Nah, you sound.
I know what you're saying.
Come to the north of England and see what happens. But
Maybe.
But it's that thing of even when you explain something, it's very hard to convey everything, and it just takes one comment for them to start this fight in the comment section.
Yes.
And interestingly, you talked about Jaguar. The video isn't out yet, but tomorrow there's a video going out about American Eagle and Jaguar and how these brands use controversy as part of like, you know, a big marketing thing. Because a lot of people are being toyed around with, you know, they want the headlines, these companies. So they're going to do something to get the headlines, right? But I'm pretty sure on that video, like my opinions and takes on it as a branding dude, it will be misconstrued a lot. And that's just part and parcel of YouTube, right? And that's where people can make their decisions. And one thing as well, for anyone out there, you know you're doing well in something when you have people who don't like you. Not that you have to go out and make them. Don't do that. It's the worst thing. But it's been a very trying time over the past few years of like negativity. Of you will get other creators who don't like you. You'll get people who will just constantly harass you sometimes, which is part and parcel, unfortunately, of what we are, but of the sort of beast of social media, right? But one thing to take away from it all, if anyone's freaked out, because I've spoken to a few people who've said, oh, we don't really want this, so we could deal without it. It's just a signifier of you standing on a position, and people might not understand. And they don't hate you, they just hate like the version that they see of you, right? And even then, who cares? Because it's whenever you do something, it doesn't matter what it is, there will be people who don't like it. And we live in a people-pleasing world right now. And
we're people-pleasing breed of designers. That's all we want. Just like this. This is part of me. Like it, please. Anyway, keep going.
No, it's true. Like, and I think a good way to zig out of that zag is to not really care. Like, obviously be kind, and, you know, try and help people. But when people are not nice to you, or they do something, one thing I've had to learn is to just think, this is just part of it. People are going to say horrible things. People don't like it when other people are successful, especially with the AI thing. When I see so much hate, on, not just on mine, but on like other people's platforms, you know, because they have like at one time been sponsored by like an AI company or whatever, or because they have a different view. people will automatically go, oh, how is he doing so well? Oh, he's using AI. Oh, no, it's just negativity. We just have to have a tough skin and just be kind to each other and, realize that we're all in this together, that there's no real competition in the design space for content. We all complete and not compete. That's like the whole ethos of what we do. If someone's trying to compete with us, we'll just work out how we can complete their content. Can we ask a question or answer one that they haven't yet that points it back? Yeah. We did this a while back with AI, I can't remember the dude, but it's an amazing YouTuber who talked about AI and how it could be bad and how it could be good. And we gave our opinions and we said, this guy didn't talk about this, but we would love to fill in that gap. That is the perfect completion, because if someone's watching, like, for instance, The Future, they were going to watch me. If someone's watching Satori, they're going to watch me as well, and vice versa. So whatever someone's doing, don't feel afraid to, don't steal it, obviously, but take an idea that they've done and ask yourself, is there something in there, not just an opinion, but is there a question that I can answer or some value I can bring or some entertainment, hopefully that's another spiel for you, but
I love that. It's funny because I hate this, but people get into your, like, you post a reel and they'll be like the person who says, yeah, but you didn't say this or that. And I'm always like, exactly. That's what I post in the comments. I'm like, it's not because I didn't think that. You have 1 minute. You have 1 minute. And in fact, I only really get 15 seconds of your attention. And yes, I could not say everything that could be said about this topic in the 15 seconds that you'll give me to say it. So stop pretending like I did not consider that thing. Yeah. And then when you post the YouTube video that's like 12 minutes long, they don't watch it. They're like, here's everything I could think of, and they're not gonna pay attention to that. But the people that come to hate.
Sorry, I think this is a delay, but I don't mean to. What do you think is going to happen with short form content? I'm asking this to a lot of people because I don't think it will survive, but everyone seems to think it will. I just don't think people are going to, like, in the next 10 years, I feel like short form reels and anything short form, it's just going to not be as prevalent as it is right now, because the trend is that they're just making it longer.
Yeah. Well, but are we watching longer? So for me, what I think, short form education, I don't think is going to survive. Short form education, it's not enough time to deliver the thing. And the people who try to consume short form education as a way to level up is a lost cause. You cannot watch enough reels about a topic to get diversity of information that's going to help you level up your business. It may spark something that makes you dig deeper to level up, but when you want to learn something, I think long form content is the way that you have to go. Short form content, I think, will exist, but it's going to be what I use it for. Show me those freaking gorillas walking around the building again and put some funny comment on the bottom of it. I love that. I will watch that.
Yeah.
Give me the golden retrievers waking up the dad in the morning. I will give you 15 seconds of my time to watch these 5 golden retrievers jump on the dad on the bed. I love that kind of stuff. And I think that entertainment media, long form entertainment media, is more at risk than long form educational content. I think long form educational content has a good place now. I think short form entertainment media has a bright future. Short form educational content, I don't know, man. It's freaking tough to teach anything valuable in the amount of time that someone will give you on a reel.
Oh, of course. It's just, that's interesting that you say that, because it's kind of where I was at, which is how are you going to learn something that's not just, here's 3 tips for coming up with a brand color or something.
Yeah. Here's a pen tool tip of the day. Yeah.
Exactly. But you don't understand why, the whys behind it. And, it just makes me feel, because I've noticed this thing, obviously with TikTok, we don't use TikTok really, but we've noticed this thing of Instagram making reels longer, YouTube making reels longer, and I think it's just maybe the comfort of having it in portrait mode and stuff. I'm not sure where it's going to go, but in my mind, it's kind of like, the entertaining stuff will always be there because it's, I don't know if you use that word, but I call it brain rot, where you just like,
yeah, it is
there's
brain rot, man.
Yeah. It just soothes the mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
well, we're all addicted to it too. That swipe addiction, the dopamine of the next
infinite
hit,
scroll.
the next hit. We're freaking heroin. We're heroin addicts of short form video content.
Oh, it's crazy. And this is like, I'm quite lucky because I'm very strange. I'll go on Instagram and I watch stories more than I do watch the reels. The only time I watch the reels is with my wife at nighttime, where we just we basically go through ones that she has shared with me throughout the day. Because otherwise I'll just stay there and I'll just keep scrolling. And then maybe for like 5 minutes, I'll scroll through a few more. But it is really interesting how short form actually cannibalized the YouTube algorithm. Now, something, I don't know if you've heard anyone talk about it, but the views went down on YouTube, strangely enough, right? And for us, we're like, oh no, that's a bad thing. Let's see what happens. So we're kind of like in the state of, oh, what's going on? That means that, sponsors, less people like purchasing products from us, less money, watch time. Nothing changed. The views went down, but we've had more and more sponsors. And what I think's happened personally on YouTube is that the algorithm has become so good on YouTube that it's pointing people to the right video at the right time, like at the exact right time of when they would want to watch.
I love that perspective.
And what it does is it's actually really freeing, because on YouTube we're always like wondering, is it going to be a 1 out of 10, right? Everyone talks about this 110, and there's this little dark pattern that they use. Well, it's more of a dopamine pattern, where if your video gets to 110, for anyone who doesn't know, YouTube calculates your performance in your video based on the last 10. Now, in the first hour, it will do this, and it will rank your video. If it's doing really well, it'll be in green. There'll be a green up arrow. And if it's doing really bad, there'll be a red down arrow. Now, psychologically, that means that you've done a bad thing, right? But you haven't. You've just put out a video. You have no control at all. But it's telling you that, that's not good. Now, when it's 1 out of 10, there'll be this really satisfying, and I'll try and show you at some point if I get another 110. That's debatable whether it'll happen. But of this confetti, and that gives you like this dopamine hit, right? And I found it really interesting the way that these like Instagram and everything tries to hook you on. And my perspective of it has been very strange as to late, because it seems like, if you look at it from a high level, like trying third person yourself towards YouTube, trying to get the creators to create more of the same amazing content, right? But it's doing it in a way that actually can harm people's psychology on YouTube. If it's your job, then it's kind of like, I am a bad person, I've done a bad thing if the views go down or whatever. But the reality is the complete opposite. YouTube's supposed to be a free, expressive place. And one thing that I would tell anyone to do is don't run that rat race of it. It doesn't make any sense. Although it's hard and it's something that I struggle with all the time. When something does poorly, we naturally want it to do well.
Yeah.
But if you're going to create something, try not to look at the views in the first day. Try and look at them after 6 months. And we tell this to all our sponsors. Look after 6 months. That's our metric of success, not the first week. Because YouTube's algorithm is all about showing you the right video at the right time now, where you get the best conversion out of someone. Not that it's about that, but it's gotten so good at understanding what they want to see at that time, right? So hopefully that helps someone out there, because it's not something I've been able to really talk about. Yeah.
I love that. I think that's a great perspective. It helps me. So if it didn't help anybody else, it helped me.
Good.
on my content sharing on YouTube.
Oh, great.
And other platforms too. I think it is. You're getting it fed to more of the right people right now. So volume happened before. The algorithms are so good that it's actually getting in front of the people that will consume it. There's something else on this that I think is an important perspective. And this is the question. This is the answer that I give people to the question of, should I should I share on LinkedIn or should I share on Instagram? Like, where's the best place for me to find clients, YouTube or whatever? And my response is always, any of them are great, because how many clients do you need in a year? And most creatives out there would be happy making 6-figure income off of their little creative freelance business. So I'm like, you need 10 clients at 9 or 10 grand per year per client. That's what you need. Are there 10 clients for you on YouTube? Yes. Are there 10 clients for you on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn? Of course, there's 10 clients for you on any of those platforms. And you do not need 1 million followers on YouTube to find those 10 clients. It can be 100 true fans, like the Kevin Kelly thing from that's so cliche now, but it's so true. You need 100 true fans, and you need 10 of them to buy from you every single year, and you have a 6-figure creative business. So lean into yourself. Don't worry so much about what the algorithm is sharing. Trust that it's going to get it in front of the 10, 15, 100 people that it will mean something to. And one of those people can become a client for you, and then it's all worth it, even though you're getting 80 views per video that you're posting.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's a perfect way of explaining it to people. We get so caught up on the views when we really should just be so caught up on whether we do it or not. YouTube and any social media now. It's funny that you say LinkedIn, because apparently I'm on LinkedIn, but I've never used it. So I must have made it like 10 years ago. I think Naomi's trying to sort that out, because everyone keeps asking why we're not on there. Adds to the air of mystery, I guess, to some people. But I think you're completely right. Find a platform that you really enjoy, the one that you really want to be on. Maybe the one that's easiest is probably the best. But for us, I love YouTube because the stories that you can tell, the time, it's more of like a sit down. People have to sit down now to watch a video. You know, people watching on their their TVs more and more every year. And you can really connect with people, right? And especially, here's an interesting story. I'll be quick about it. But we had a client who we were shocked to get, and hopefully we're showing some of the work in the next few weeks. And we're in this boardroom in London, and we were just like kind of flabbergasted that we ever got this opportunity. And we said to him, where did you hear about us from? Because we were like, you can't be watching YouTube videos. And he said, no, I watched your videos. And Naomi says, which one? And he said, all of them. Whoa. But this was like I don't know if I believe all of them, but he was quite adamant. We were kind of like taken aback by this. For context, this guy could have gone to anyone, and he has gone to everyone, for different things. And like for us, it just shows you the power of it's not being the best. It's just about being their favorite. If they want you, they'll want you based on something that you might not ever know. And as Chris Doer said once, he said it to me. I went for dinner with him the last time I met him in LA, and he said, "Just be more you." That's just the best thing I've ever heard. Be more you, right? And it works so well because people online and everything, if you're trying to grow your creative business or whatever, to try not to be like everyone else. Just find something that's unique about you and absolutely roll with it. Made by James. Yeah. James Martin has done this really well. Just be more you. You can tell. You don't have to see him, but you could see his office, or his studio, and you could tell that's his. That's because it's got all his personality on. Yeah, it's the same with other people, and that's what we try and get in ours. With the written, it's an actual to-do list back there. But it's a real to-do list, but we try and get that across as well. So the things that you might think are a weakness in the reasons why you can't do social media, maybe you stutter, maybe you're like me where you don't speak very well, like on camera and stuff, then that's your greatest strength, I think, because it just makes you more you in the way that you say things, and people naturally come to people who are authentic on there. So hopefully that helps too.
Dude, I love it's British self-deprecation is what you have. You're so good on videos. You're so good.
I'm not.
You do. Yes, you are.
Dude, I will
Yes,
send you
are.
the behind the scenes.
Okay, so if you're doing multiple takes and it's good editing, I guess I can believe in that. But I don't know, man. Where you started and go back and look at Will's very first video where he showed up on screen. The audio, the camera, all of it, man. You've just dialed it in so well over the years, and you've really done such a great job. You've done such a great job. All right. Well, we should wrap up our conversation. Lots of good nuggets. Thank you for sharing. We'll end with a few rapid fire questions of just kind of one-liner things. But I do want to tell everybody, Will is coming to Morepalooza in London it's only like 2 weeks away, which is crazy. Yeah. So we have the greatest panel of creative minds that the UK has ever assembled, I think. I mean, these people that are coming, it's Will and James Martin and Tom Ross and Danny Allen Page and Danielle Clark and Thad Cox and James Finlay and who am I missing?
Ian Paget.
Oh, Ian Paget is coming. Yeah. It's so many. They have podcasts, they have audience, and they're all going to be as part of our panel. I'm trying to figure out how to do it time-wise to give everybody moments to highlight their expertise. So I'm working on that, but it's just going to be so fun. I'm so grateful that you're coming. Thank you for being willing to participate. And Naomi's coming as well, which we're excited about too. So thank you for... Yes, it's so good. It's just super, super excited for that. So thank you, Will, in advance. And I'll tell you that probably a dozen more times when I see you in a couple weeks.
It's an honor to come down. Thank you so much.
It's just going to be so fun. Honestly, man. I mean, just all creatives nerding out in a workshop it's so fun. It's so fun.
You don't find it anywhere else. So I'm very, very excited to go.
It's going to be so fun. Okay, here's some rapid fire. willpaterson.design is your site, and just look up Will Paterson on YouTube. If you search Will Paterson with one T, you'll see dozens of videos of his pop right up on the screen. He has a huge audience there. It's not hard to find him, so look him up on YouTube. You also have some products too that I'll shout out. You have a logo presentation bundle and a handful. Yeah. Let me see what are the other things that you have that you've created as tangible products?
So we've got like the standard, brand guidelines template, but it's not standard. It's pretty complex, but you can create them in a few minutes using components. So check that out. And we also have a bespoke logo type design course. If you want to learn how to draw letters and stop the replacement of AI in your design flow, then that's a really good one to learn that. It's called Logo Launcher Design Academy. It's called that. I'm terrible at promoting myself, dude. I don't like it.
No, I am too, man. So I'll promote you. All of his stuff is underpriced, so you should buy it now before I convince him to bump his prices up on the $15 for your brand guidelines template, $25 for his logo presentation template. Honestly, go check out his website, willpaterson.design. Check out his YouTube channel, and I'm going to convince him to bump his prices up. And hopefully when is your book coming out, man? You need your logo book. I want your logo book. I got all the other people. You got one in the works? You got...
Well,
where are you in that state?
I've done a calligraphy book when I was 21 years old, and it was difficult because I can't write, so not very well. They reached out to me a couple of years ago, again, but they wanted me to do it about branding. And I felt, it wasn't the right time, but I think there's something in the works happening about logo type stuff that's happening. Okay. So I'm hoping to get that out soon.
Okay, good. You need that. You need that anchor personal brand item.
Yes. Yes.
You got everything else. You've just slayed. Okay, here we go to the rapid fire. Biggest fear, and don't tell me it's like your spouse dying or anything like that. If snakes or spiders, or give me something. What are you afraid of?
Probably like my monitor falling off my table.
Is that true?
Yeah,
That is.
Yeah, like
You have some
if I'm
weird
thinking
phobia.
quickly, if it's a phobia, that's different. I don't. No, sick, vomit. I don't like vomit.
Oh, okay. There we go. Okay, I like it. All right. What's a hidden talent that you have?
I can juggle knives and fire on a unicycle.
For real?
Yeah.
Dude, that is epic. Do you have video of that somewhere posted?
No, but I can probably get some. I
Oh
need some-
my gosh,
I
that is a
learned it-
request.
The only thing
I'm
I learned
making a
at school-
formal request for that
Yeah.
video.
Actually, that would be a great video. Okay, yeah, we'll
Yeah,
keep
it
it
would.
posted.
Dude, that's the ultimate hook. Put it at the start of your next YouTube. I will watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right. What's the weirdest client request you've ever gotten?
Can you put ears on that logo type? And you wouldn't believe who asked it. Yeah.
Really? Okay. Can you tell us who asked it? No, we don't want to ask. We won't ask.
I can tell you
Don't
after.
Okay. Okay. Tell me after we're not recording. Favorite movie of all time?
Interstellar.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
So
I'm a
good.
big quantum,
So rewatchable.
I studied quantum physics and stuff. I absolutely love stuff like that.
You
yeah, I'm a
did?
massive.
Oh, that's
no, I
awesome.
do study it now. I've never gone to
Oh, you
university
do?
for it. Just I study it now from books and trying to do university things online. Yeah,
Dude, the quantum physics is mind-blowing stuff.
yeah, it is
Mind-blowing.
so addictive.
Have you watched Down the Rabbit Hole? I think it's called Down the Rabbit Hole.
Oh, I might have done. I've watched too much about things.
It was. I'll find it and I'll send you the video. It's on YouTube.
Yes, please.
Oh, it's called What the Bleep Down the Rabbit Hole, and it's all about quantum physics. But
Yeah, I
it's
think-
not like substituting a cuss word. It's actually called What the Bleep. And
Yeah,
that's the
I think I have,
thing.
but
Yeah.
it might have been a while
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been out for 15 years or something. Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite TV show or binge watch?
Vampire Diaries.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay,
and don't ask
interesting.
me why. My wife used to watch it, and then that was it. I just got hooked, and I've watched it so many
Wow,
times.
that is
since, yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your go-to comfort food?
I would say beef jerky, like or
Beef
biltong.
jerky. I love these answers.
Yeah, like this is the first ones that come into my head. So if I had
Yeah,
more time,
it's
then
good.
I'd
No,
probably
that's
answer different, yeah.
good. I'm a cheeseburger guy, man. I could eat cheeseburgers and French fries every day. Every day.
Yeah.
First concert that you ever went to?
Enter Shikari when I was like 11, and then I had, strangely enough, Enter Shikari is a British band, really well known over here. But then 10 years later, it was only last year, their manager called me up and then invited me to be a guest at one of their new tours. So I got to meet the band and everything, and I didn't realize they
Dude,
watched
that's
my videos.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What?
Or one of them
That's
was. Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah,
That
madness.
is so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool. We'll end with that cool note. I think it's so interesting. So this is Will from a small town in northern England, goes to a concert all those years ago, builds this YouTube channel and audience and worldwide reputation, and gets invited to meet the band of the first concert. Like, what world are we living in where those kinds of things can happen? I think it's amazing.
My wife says it's not real. Like, nothing's real. So
Yeah,
I'll
right?
go with that. Yeah. It doesn't feel
It
real.
is. It is. It is. All right. Thank you, Will, for coming on. It was so fun to have you. I loved our conversation. And thank you, everybody, for listening to What the Helvetica. We will be back again soon with another awesome guest.